Hey everybody, I'm Matthew. For the last 10 years, I've been implementing, administering, and cleaning up CMMS systems. And if I had a dollar for every time I heard someone say, "This is how we've always done it," I probably wouldn't need a YouTube channel. Because here's the thing, that phrase is usually followed by bad data, frustrated technicians, broken processes, and reports nobody trusts. And the real problem, once most organizations get their workflows good enough, they stop paying attention to them. They stop listening. They stop improving. And eventually they start wondering why their CMMS isn't delivering the value that they expected. Today we're talking about workflows, not the fancy flow chart somebody built 5 years ago and nobody's looked at since. The real workflows your people use every day. Let's get into it. Here's what I see all the time. A company buys a CMMS, they configure it, they train everyone. They maybe even write an SOP or two. And then everybody settles into their routines. The problem is those routines slowly drift. People find shortcuts, processes get bypassed. New employees learn from other employees instead of the documented process. And eventually nobody remembers why the workflow was built the way it was in the first place. Then management starts asking questions. Why is the data bad? Why are the reports inaccurate? Why are technicians skipping steps? And before they point fingers at technicians, they need to remember something. The three fingers pointed right back at them. Because most workflow problems start with the system itself. Why does this matter? Because every bad workflow costs you twice. First, it wastes technicians' time. Second, it creates bad data. And bad data creates bad decisions. When people get frustrated, they stop caring. When data isn't trusted, nobody uses it. And when nobody uses it, your CMMS becomes an expensive filing cabinet. The good news, you're not starting from scratch. Your technicians have already been doing the work. Your managers have already been making the decisions. And your administrators have already been supporting the system. We're not inventing a new process. We're documenting and improving the ones that already exist. Before you blame your technicians, ask yourself, are your codes, form layouts, and security access actually helping people do their job? Because if those things aren't right, nothing built on top of them will be right either. Let's start with code. Do your codes actually mean anything? I've seen systems with 17 different statuses. Ask a technician what they use, open, closed, and if they're feeling a little bit spicy today, maybe they'll use in progress. If your statuses are meaningless, your data is meaningless. And if your data is meaningless, people are making decisions using data they can't trust. That's not a problem, technician. That's an administration problem. The next is form design. Your form layout should support three things: quick entry, easy edits, smooth completion. The quicker someone can enter, edit, and complete a work order correctly, the more time they have to enter the quality data. Every click matters. Every unnecessary field matters. Every confusing screen matters. Remember, people follow the path of least resistance. And let's talk security. Don't review security because some IT nerd told you to do so. Review security because too much access confuses people. I've seen technicians looking at buttons they shouldn't touch, wondering if they're supposed to use them. The best security setups I've ever seen guide people through the process. They see exactly what they need, nothing more, nothing less. Get these three things right, and you'll have a solid foundation to build technician workflows on. Now let's talk about the technicians. Do they actually have the tools to succeed? And no, I'm not talking about wrenches and multimeters. I'm talking about the tools required to use the CMMS. Do they have mobile devices? Do they have computer access? Do they have enough time to document their work? You can't expect a technician to troubleshoot a variable frequency drive without the right diagnostic tools. And you can't expect them to document quality work if they don't have the time or resources to do it. Next, are your instructions clear? Not just CMMS instructions, but the equipment instructions like your procedures, your PM instructions, shutdown instructions, everything. Because not everybody has 20 years of tribal knowledge floating around in their noodle. If you don't have fancy tools, detailed procedures become even more important. And when that inspector shows up, you'll be glad those procedures exist. Now, let's be honest for a second. Nobody reads the instructions. I don't care if it's a CMMS procedure, a new grill from the Home Depot, or a piece of IKEA furniture. Most people look at the instructions, throw them to the side, and immediately start building. Then 3 hours later, they're holding 2 leftover screws, wondering where life went wrong. That's why instructions alone aren't enough. Training reinforces the instructions. It turns, I think I know how this works, into I know this is how it works. Did you actually show people the workflow? Or did you throw them into the system and wish them good luck? I've seen organizations spend 6 figures on software in about 15 minutes teaching people how to use it. That's not training, that's optimism. Remember, your technicians have already been doing the work, probably for years. Our job isn't to reinvent it, it's to make it repeatable. It's to make it consistent. It's to make it easy for the next person. And here is where most organizations fail. They create workflows, then they never revisit them. Your workflow is not a one-time project. It's a living, breathing thing. The best feedback you'll ever get comes from the people using it every day, your technicians. And before somebody panics, I'm not suggesting a weekly bitch session. Everybody already has safety huddles. Use them. Add one simple question. What's one thing we could improve? That's it. One thing, one tweak, one adjustment. Keep it focused, keep it actionable. If you improve one thing every huddle, before long, these workflows become rock solid. And if you're wondering how to collect and use feedback effectively, we talked about that in this video here. Because feedback only matters if you actually do something with it. This week, pick one workflow, just one. Not 20, not all of them, one. Look at it from start to finish. Review the codes, review the form layout, review the security permissions. Ask the people using it what drives them crazy. Then improve one thing. That's it. Small improvements done consistently beat massive projects that never get finished every single time. Next time, we're tackling something that quietly destroys reporting, workflows, and data quality. Your codes, status codes, failure codes, asset codes, all those drop downs everybody ignores until reports stop making sense. We're going to talk about how to build codes that actually mean something and how to keep them from turning into complete chaos. You won't want to miss that one. You've already got the foundation. Your people are already doing the work. Now it's just about making it repeatable, improving it over time, and getting everybody moving in the same direction. And if you enjoyed this episode, hit like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments, what's the most ridiculous workflow you've ever seen and were you able to fix it? And check out this video here for the next step in improving your CMMS. I'm Matthew, I'm the SaaSy guy, where every work order tells a story.